odd-numbered year. It's 2025. It's March. This is like the definition of when you don't get any news about elections. But last night we had two big results out of two elections in the state of Pennsylvania, which are a big deal to Democrats. The first one was in the House, Pennsylvania House. Democrats won an election there that will hand them control of the state legislature, the House in Pennsylvania. Now that race in the state House district, that was considered a Democratic-leaning district. Kamala Harris had won that district in November by like 16 points. So it's not a surprise that the Democrat won. That said, though, there still was a good news surprise for Democrats in that race, because even though Harris had won that district by 16 points, last night the Democrats' candidate in that district won by nearly 30 points, which is a huge margin to take even in a blue seat. And that alone would have been a reason for Pennsylvania Democrats to be celebrating today. But then look at this. There was another election as well last night in Pennsylvania, one that Democrats did not expect to win at all. And this one wasn't for a Pennsylvania House seat. It was for a Pennsylvania Senate seat. And this seat had been held by a Republican. It was seen as a really red district. In November, Trump won that district by 15 points. But last night, a Democrat won there, managed to flip that seat from Republican to Democrat in a Trump plus 15 district in Pennsylvania. And this is kind of turning into a theme for Democrats this year. We already this year saw Democrats in Iowa score a huge upset win. This was an Iowa Senate seat, and it was an even redder Senate seat than that one that Democrats won in Pennsylvania last night. This was an Iowa Senate seat in a district where Trump had won by 21 points. 21 points. But the Democratic Senate candidate flipped it, won it as a Democrat. Then just earlier this month, it was Democrats in Minnesota who won an election for a state House seat. Now, in that case, it wasn't a Trump district. That district was Democratic, and Democrats expected to win that race, but they did not expect to win by 70 points. A 70-point margin was the winning margin there for Democrats in that Minnesota race. So all of this very good news for Democrats comes as we're awaiting three very big special elections next week on Tuesday. In Wisconsin, there is, of course, the huge, very high-profile special election that will determine control of Wisconsin State Supreme Court, and by extension, the future of abortion rights and voting rights and so much more in that state. It is technically a nonpartisan race, but Elon Musk's super PAC has dumped more than $10 million already into supporting the candidate who is favored by Republicans. Musk's PAC is also paying people, offering people $100 if they sign a petition against activist judges, thereby helping identify voters for their get-out-to-vote efforts. Thanks to Elon Musk, Wisconsin's Supreme Court race is now the most expensive judicial election in U.S. history, which is gross. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that on Tuesday night in Wisconsin. There's also two special elections in Florida next week for congressional seats. One race to fill the congressional seat vacated by Trump's national security advisor and group chat enthusiast, Mike Waltz. Another to fill the seat vacated by Trump's first pick for attorney general, the one who had to withdraw his name over all the allegations of illicit drug use and sex with a minor, all of which he denies. Those are both considered heavily Republican districts. But in Mike Waltz's old district, Republicans are reportedly growing a little bit concerned. The Democratic candidate has out-fundraised the Republican there by more than 10-1, which means even though that's a very, very red district, Democrats are fighting that to win it. We'll keep a close eye on that and much more. Watch this space.